My name is Rob Weir. I am the CEO of Maguey Exchange, which is a digital platform that connects artisanal spirits and wine producers to global buyers. Maguey Exchange is a B2B platform and marketplace that is revolutionizing the $380 billion artisanal spirits and wine industry. Our platform essentially connects global buyers with producers while streamlining discovery, procurement, and supply chain management. So the problems that we're solving are threefold, and I think it's a great framework to understand them as find, connect, and manage. In terms of find, there's no yellow pages for these artisanal spirits and wine producers. I'm talking about a mezcal producer from Mexico or a wine producer in Argentina. It's very hard to find them, and to find them, it requires physical visits and complex negotiations once you find them. In terms of the Connect framework, producers can't access global markets effectively. They're somewhere producing, your favorite spirits or wine. It's hard for them to access buyers. And the third, in terms of manage, buyers generally struggle with fragmented sourcing and procurement costs, right? Adding about 15 to 20% of what they're doing. So we built an all-in-one platform that includes a producer app, which captures 250 data points per producer, a buyer portal, which allows buyers to connect with these producers through AI-powered matching and procurement services. And then the third aspect in terms of the manage, end-to-end management of origin to destination, transportation, logistics, compliance, and regulatory aspects. My origin story with starting Maguey Exchange actually traces back to 2009, right? I'm backpacking through Oaxaca, Mexico, between my junior and senior year of college. I meet Rodrigo, who's a mezcal producer, and we're friends to this day. He gave me my first sip of mezcal. And with that first sip of mezcal, he introduced me to the wide world of artisanal spirits and wine production, where people like Rodrigo and communities all over the world are making these products. He also shared that he struggled to support his family because he was in a remote region in Oaxaca, so buyers couldn't find him and he couldn't find buyers. And once they did actually manage to connect, the communication was a struggle. Now, fast forward, I returned back to college. I graduated from West Point in 2011, become a U.S. Army Ranger, and find myself on my first deployment in Afghanistan in 2012. Now, 80% of that deployment was combat. I was patrolling the Afghanistan-Pakistani border, but the other 20% was working with producers again. It was working with farmers. I was working with the State Department on a special economic development initiative to convert Afghan farmers from farming poppy into something else that didn't fund the Taliban. And I had a front row seat that despite billions of dollars invested and actually a lot of farmers converted, this program fell flat on its face because we didn't establish a new market for these new farmers farming new things to sell their products, right? As a result, had to subsidize them as well to keep them in the program. So I saw striking parallels between the challenges that producers like Rodrigo faced in Oaxaca and farmers in Afghanistan. And both of these groups, they actually struggle with market access and complex supply chains. So after 6 years, left the Army and earned my MBA from Booth, as well as did some management consulting for a couple of years, helping Fortune 100 companies solve these exact problems and foreign governments. And I left to found Maguey Exchange to bridge this gap because I saw an ultimate need in the market of connecting these producers with global markets and vice versa. Just starting with this, I applied to Techstars twice, right? Once to their Farm to Fork Accelerator based in Minnesota. Shout out to Sarah Bain. And then also, to the Techstars LA accelerator. And, coming from my background, I have a pretty interesting, complicated background of, military, an Army officer. I did management consulting before, and then also these other side projects that I had going on. And they had a proven track record for scaling B2B marketplaces, right? Which is a unique problem because you're serving two sides. The second is the network. The network of Techstars has been, and is the reason why I joined, has been super helpful. Some of them are mentors and advisors right now, even after the program, right? Which speaks to the strength of the network and the principle of giving first. And, the programming, is focused on founder development. Although you may have ultimate knowledge of what constitutes, different mechanisms in the industry, how to sell, what are the customers like, how do you optimize this aspect or enable it with technology? That founder development, mentally, spiritually, physically, intellectually, is very important. The Techstars LA team, Matt Kozlov, right, and Ahmed, they were very helpful in helping me work through those week by week, day by day problems that like lots of entrepreneurs go through. We go for walks. I would just, explain to them what's going on, and they often had great advice. Or if they did not have that advice for this specific topic, they would connect me to someone that did. Three crucial things after joining Techstars. One is the value of storytelling, not only in building trust, but building support. And this spans between investors, clients and customers, and also partners. One huge aspect of Techstars is demo day. Week after week, we're going through our pitch in preparation for demo day throughout the entire program. And it was that process of fine-tuning the story, understanding the effect and testing it with different groups that really showed me the value of storytelling and garnering support and just kind of incepting in the collective mind what you're doing and why is it important. The second aspect I learned from Techstars was think bigger. With conversations with the Techstars LA team, they often encourage you to think bigger. Like, how can you make this $1 billion business, a $10 billion business, etc. Beyond the numbers, they also pushed me to understand how can I make a bigger impact in the world, which is the whole reason why I'm building Maguey Exchange. In terms of the thinking bigger, Maguey Exchange has evolved from a agave spirits focused platform to a artisanal spirits and wine focused program. And the technology that we're building can be used for anything from coffee to textiles, anywhere that there's a fragmented producer base or lots of communities like those of Rodrigo around the world to connect them to global market. The amount of connections and deepens the strength of those connections between every aspect in the community. For example, our producers, they all refer each other to us. Same thing with our buyers. We do a lot of B2B marketing and everything, but a lot of our great customers and our great producers are referred to us from somebody already in our existing communities. Not every investor is the right investor. However, Techstars and specifically Matt and Ahmed in the Techstars LA program introduced Maguey Exchange to a lot of strategic partners and investors that we're still working with today. And they helped secure 50% of our current, $1.8 million round just through introductions, through social proof, through Matt sending me emails, the team sending me emails like, hey, you should check out this group. I think you guys are aligned. I would say 99% of the time, we're definitely aligned because they know our business fundamentals and what we're trying to do. Second is the refined pitch. Over the course of time with Techstars, not only from the weekly focus on the demo day pitch, I've understood the ability, the need and capability and importance of that capability of storytelling. Storytelling, an aspect that it is directed towards different segments of investors, different segments of partners. You can't use the same demo day pitch throughout. I've tried, doesn't work. You have to focus and understand where they're coming from in order for them to meet you where you are. And the third aspect in terms of how did Techstars affect our investment journey is basically they help strengthen our go-to-market strategy. Who are we talking to and how are they going to receive that message and what channel are we going to reach them? And this is towards investors, Techstars really helped with. The first one is spend time understanding the root problems that your business is trying to solve. If you have a crystal clear vision of what problems exist and how you're addressing them, that makes the communication and building something that actually, makes the change a lot easier. The second aspect, I would say, build communities, not just products. Communities are super important in terms of establishing that social proof, as well as that social acceptance, right? That bandwagoning effect that you need in order to scale up any product or service. You can have the best product or service in the world, but if a lot of people aren't, aligned around it and, are not grouped together and can share the benefits of that product or service, it's not going to grow quite as fast. And then the third aspect that I would, give as a piece of advice to founders that Techstars gave me is about think bigger about the market opportunity, think bigger about the impact that you're trying to achieve in the world. The upper limit of everybody's thought about your product or service or what you're doing is your limit, right? Is your thoughts about it. If you can expand or, increase that ceiling and think bigger about the opportunity, a lot of, I would say, magic, a lot of awesome things happen, right? Not only in terms of partners, but also investors and clients as well. And you get closer to truly achieving that impact that you set out to do with building your business. There is a festival in Mexico City, focused on agave spirit. So the idea of these festivals, they bring producers from all over Mexico to like a certain location in Mexico City, and they have a fair. And in that fair, you have regular consumers, like normal people, you have, industry professionals, etc., attending that fair. And in that fair, I knew about and have worked with about 80% of those producers, 80%. And all of them, from 3 years ago when I started Maguey Exchange to now, it is always fulfilling to hear them say, oh, you're doing it. It's actually happening, right? I'm actually getting the benefit of this crazy idea that you showed up in my distillery with like 3 years ago. Getting that feedback from the people and communities and producers that we're serving that you're doing it. You're doing a good job. Keep going, right? So that's my proudest achievement to date, as well as, communities like Rodrigo's, right? Having their first like global distribution contracts, shipping, spirits and wine internationally. Those are like other achievements that are like very proud. But the primary one is, that the communities that I built Maguey Exchange to serve are happy, right? And, share that happiness and refer other producers and buyers to the Maguey Exchange platform. That's really cool to see. We have pilots ongoing with Michelin star recognized restaurants and like top 50 best bars in North America on, their organizing their portfolio of spirits and wines, not only in terms of tastings, but also experiences and things that you can purchase as well. So I'm very excited about these programs because, I had, a hypothesis a while ago that, high-end and luxury restaurants and bars and hospitality groups could benefit from sourcing authentically from people like Rodrigo, from artisanal spirits and wine producers. Second, in the theme of restaurants and bars, we will be putting out a feature early next year about how are you liking this product? Like, how are you liking this spirit? How are you liking this wine or this beer? And we're able to track back to our large, group of producers, over 500 now, and help get what you like to you. So we're going to be piloting that at the beginning of the year as a new feature. And last but not least, in terms of our content, in our Chef's Table style content, we're expanding it from agave spirits to other types of spirits and wine all over the world. So I'm really excited to not only bring these stories that I experienced, like going through these like remote places, to consumers, to the public, but also, getting the feedback and reaction from them back to the producers, right? And that is all building on this connectivity aspect that Maguey Exchange, that is a vision and focus of Maguey Exchange. So follow us on our platforms, right? Visit our website, see what we do, and get engrossed in these stories that we're telling, right? Because I think you'll relate to them a lot, not only from a understanding of where your tasty beverages come from, but also who's the face, who's the community behind that tasty beverage that you're enjoying at your favorite bar or restaurant. We're still in the middle of a raise, like a pre-seed raise. We'd love, to continue building upon our awesome group of investors and supporters and partners, because they're what make the Maguey Exchange engine continue going forward, right? And they are all like a great group of humans and people, and I am lucky and happy to work with them. And last but not least, if you are a bar, restaurant, brand, or importer, looking for help not only reaching producers, but also managing that relationship, as well as the supply of what you need to sell, we're here for you. Happy to work with you, working with many brands across the world, and are looking forward to working with more.